There is something on your kitchen counter right now, or in your cupboard, that you reach for almost every single day. You make it first thing in the morning. You pour a cup in the afternoon when you need a quiet moment. You have probably been drinking it for decades, and every time you do, you feel like you are doing something good for yourself. You have heard it is full of antioxidants. You have read that it supports your heart. Maybe a doctor even told you once that drinking tea is one of the healthiest habits you can have. And that is true. For most teas, prepared the right way, that is absolutely true. But here is what almost nobody is telling you. And I want you to hear this carefully, because what I am about to share is something I genuinely wish more people in their 50s and 60s knew before the damage had already been quietly building for years. Certain teas, some of the most popular ones in the world, ones that are marketed specifically as health drinks, contain compounds that, when consumed daily over months and years, accumulate inside your kidney tissue in ways your body cannot easily clear. Your kidneys never send you a pain signal while this is happening. There is no warning, no obvious sign. The damage builds silently, the way so much kidney disease does, until one day a blood test comes back and a doctor is sitting across from you explaining that your kidney function has declined significantly. And the number that matters here is this. The National Kidney Foundation estimates that 1 in 3 American adults is currently at risk for kidney disease, and among adults over 60, that number climbs even higher. My name is Dr. ElderZen. I have spent years working with older adults on protecting their long-term organ health through evidence-informed natural approaches used alongside, not instead of, conventional medical care. Today I am going to walk you through 5 teas that research suggests may pose a real risk to kidney health when consumed regularly, exactly what is happening inside your body when you drink them, and what you can safely switch to instead. And before we go any further, I want to be completely clear. Everything I share today is educational. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have existing kidney concerns or you are managing a chronic condition, please speak with your doctor before making any changes to your diet or daily habits. Your health is too important to take chances with. Now, let us count down from number 5. Number 5, green tea in excessive amounts, 0.45 to 4. We are starting with one that is going to surprise a lot of people, because if you asked almost anyone to name the single healthiest tea on the planet, the majority would say green tea without hesitating. And they would not be wrong, exactly. Green tea has one of the most impressive bodies of research behind it of any beverage in the world. Polyphenols, EGCG, antioxidant activity, cardiovascular support. The list is genuinely long and genuinely meaningful. So why is it on this list? Because there is a threshold. And most people drinking green tea for health reasons have no idea where that threshold is, or that they may already be crossing it every single day. Here is the specific problem. Green tea contains naturally occurring oxalates. Oxalates are compounds found in many plants, and in normal amounts, your kidneys handle them without difficulty. They simply filter them out and you excrete them in your urine. But here is what changes when you drink 3, 4, or 5 cups of green tea daily, which is extremely common among health-conscious adults in this age group. The oxalate load increases to a level that your kidneys, particularly kidneys that are already showing the natural functional decline that begins after age 50, begin to struggle to process efficiently. When oxalate accumulates faster than your kidneys can clear it, it begins to bind with calcium inside the kidney tissue itself, forming calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals are the most common type of kidney stone. But here's what most people do not know. You do not have to pass a full stone to experience kidney damage from oxalate accumulation. Microscopic crystal formation inside the kidney tubules, happening slowly and silently over months and years, causes progressive tissue damage that never announces itself with pain. A 2022 review published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology noted that excessive dietary oxalate intake is a significantly underappreciated contributor to chronic kidney disease progression in older adults, particularly those who already have mildly reduced kidney function, which describes a large percentage of people over 60 without them ever knowing it. There is also a second issue with green tea specifically. Many people, in an effort to maximize the health benefits, steep their green tea for longer than recommended, sometimes 5, 10, even 15 minutes. The longer you steep, the higher the oxalate extraction from the leaves, A cup steeped for 10 minutes can contain nearly 3 times the oxalate of a cup steeped for 2 minutes. Pro tip: if you love green tea and you are not ready to give it up, here is how to make it significantly safer. Limit yourself to 1, maximum 2 cups per day. Steep for no longer than 2 minutes, and drink a full glass of plain water alongside each cup. Hydration is one of the most powerful tools your kidneys have for clearing oxalate before it can accumulate. 1 cup of properly prepared green tea is genuinely healthy. 4 cups steeped for 10 minutes daily, for years, is a different story entirely. Number 4. Black tea, 4 o'clock to 7:30. Number 4 is the tea that is sitting in more kitchens across the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia than perhaps any other beverage on this list. Black tea, English breakfast, Earl Grey, the morning cup that has been part of daily life for generations of people now in their 50s and 60s. And the kidney risk here is real, well documented, and almost never discussed. Black tea contains significantly higher oxalate concentrations than green tea. Gram for gram, black tea leaves carry some of the highest oxalate content of any commonly consumed beverage. A single standard cup of brewed black tea contains between 4 and 14 milligrams of oxalate depending on the brand, the steeping time, and the water temperature. That range matters, and for someone drinking 3 or 4 cups a day, which is entirely normal for this demographic, the cumulative daily oxalate load can exceed what kidney specialists consider the safe threshold for adults with even mildly reduced kidney function. But there is a second, separate issue with black tea that goes beyond oxalates, and this one concerns a compound called tannins. Tannins are naturally occurring polyphenols responsible for that familiar, slightly bitter, astringent quality that makes a strong cup of black tea taste the way it does. In moderate amounts, tannins have genuine antioxidant properties. But in the quantities present in strong brewed black tea consumed multiple times daily, tannins interfere with something your kidneys depend on heavily: iron absorption. Tannins bind to non-heme iron in the gut and prevent it from entering your bloodstream. For adults over 60 who are already at higher risk for mild iron deficiency anemia, this compounds an existing vulnerability. And iron is not simply about energy levels. Iron plays a direct role in the production of erythropoietin, a hormone produced by your kidneys that signals your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. When kidney function declines and iron availability drops simultaneously, a cycle begins that progressively worsens both conditions. A case study published in the New England Journal of Medicine documented a 56-year-old man who developed what researchers described as tea-induced nephropathy, meaning kidney damage directly attributable to tea consumption, after drinking 16 8-ounce cups of black tea daily for years. While 16 cups is extreme, the underlying mechanism, oxalate nephropathy, does not require extreme consumption to begin. It requires consistent overconsumption over time. Pro tip: if black tea is part of your daily routine, limit to 1 or 2 cups maximum, always with food, never on an empty stomach. Adding a small amount of milk is not just a British tradition. The calcium in milk binds to oxalates in the cup before they ever enter your body, significantly reducing the amount your kidneys need to process. This is one case where an old habit turns out to have real science behind it. Number 3. Herbal detox and cleanse teas, 7:30 to 11:30. Number 3 is the one I feel most strongly about sharing, because the teas in this category are not just potentially harmful. They are actively marketed as being beneficial for your kidneys, and that marketing is, for many formulations, the exact opposite of the truth. Walk into any health food store, browse any wellness website, and you will find shelves of teas with names that include words like cleanse, detox, flush, purify, kidney support, or liver reset. They come in attractive packaging. They carry testimonials. They are frequently recommended by wellness influencers. And they are being bought in enormous quantities by adults in their 50s and 60s who genuinely want to protect their health. Here is what you need to understand about how your kidneys actually work. Your kidneys are not a filter that gets clogged and needs to be flushed. They are a dynamic, living organ system performing millions of precise biochemical operations every hour. The concept of detoxing your kidneys with a tea is, from a nephrology standpoint, not how kidney physiology works. But more concerning than the ineffectiveness is what is actually inside many of these teas. The first ingredient to know is senna. Senna is a powerful natural laxative derived from the senna plant. It is a legitimate medical treatment for short-term constipation, but it is present in a significant number of detox and cleanse teas, sometimes without prominent labeling. Chronic senna consumption causes something called melanosis coli, a darkening of the colon lining, and more seriously, it has been linked in multiple published case reports to acute kidney injury. A 2020 paper in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases documented multiple cases of senna-induced nephropathy in patients who consumed detox teas daily for extended periods, believing they were supporting their health. The second ingredient is aristolochic acid found in plants sometimes used in traditional herbal formulations. Aristolochic acid is a documented nephrotoxin, meaning it is directly toxic to kidney tissue. The FDA has issued warnings about it. The damage it causes is irreversible, and it has appeared in herbal tea products sold in the United States and internationally. The third category is high-dose anthraquinone glycosides, found in herbs like cascara, buckthorn, and aloe vera latex, sometimes included in detox formulas. These compounds stress the kidneys during excretion in ways that, over time, contribute to chronic tubular damage. Pro tip: before you drink any herbal tea marketed as a detox, cleanse, or kidney flush, turn the package over. Read every ingredient. If you see senna, cascara, buckthorn, or any ingredient you cannot identify, put it down and search that ingredient alongside the word nephrotoxic before consuming it. The word natural on a label means absolutely nothing about safety, especially for your kidneys. Your kidneys do not need to be detoxed. They need to be hydrated, protected, and not overwhelmed with compounds they were not designed to process daily. Number 2. Kombucha. T 1130 to 1530. Number 2 is the one that has seen the most dramatic rise in popularity over the past decade, particularly among health-conscious adults who are actively trying to make better choices, and the fact that it appears on this list is going to genuinely surprise many of you. Kombucha. The fermented tea drink with the living cultures, the gut health benefits, the probiotics. It has gone from a niche health food store product to supermarket shelves, gym refrigerators, and morning routines across the country. And here is the truth. Kombucha does have genuine benefits. The fermentation process produces beneficial organic acids and a small population of probiotic organisms. The gut health research is real, if still developing. But for adults over 60, particularly those with any degree of reduced kidney function, kombucha presents a combination of risks that are almost never discussed in the wellness conversations surrounding it. The first issue is acidity. Kombucha is highly acidic, with a pH typically between 2.5 and 3.5, making it roughly as acidic as vinegar. Your kidneys are responsible for maintaining the acid-base balance of your blood, a process called acid-base homeostasis. Every highly acidic beverage you consume adds to the acid load your kidneys must neutralize and excrete. For younger kidneys with full functional capacity, this is manageable. For kidneys already operating at reduced efficiency, which again describes a significant proportion of adults over 60, a daily acidic load from kombucha adds chronic stress to a system already working harder than it used to. The second issue is something most kombucha drinkers have never heard of. Kombucha contains a compound called D-lactic acid, produced during fermentation. In healthy individuals, D-lactic acid is metabolized without difficulty, but in individuals with even mildly compromised kidney or metabolic function, D-lactic acid can accumulate and contribute to a condition called D-lactic acidosis. Published case reports have documented this specifically in kombucha consumers, including a widely cited case in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology involving a 22-year-old with HIV whose kombucha consumption contributed to fatal lactic acidosis. While this represented an extreme case, it established the mechanism clearly. The third issue is alcohol content. Kombucha fermentation naturally produces a small amount of alcohol, typically between 0.5 and 3% depending on the brand and fermentation duration. Some commercial kombuchas, particularly those labeled as raw or extended ferment, have tested above the legal threshold for alcoholic beverages. Alcohol is processed by your liver and kidneys simultaneously. For daily consumers, this represents a consistent low-level metabolic burden on both organs. Pro tip: if you enjoy kombucha, limit it to 2 to 3 times per week maximum rather than daily. Choose commercially pasteurized versions with clearly labeled and consistently low alcohol content. Drink it with food rather than on an empty stomach to moderate the acid impact. And if you have ever been told your creatinine levels are slightly elevated, or your GFR is trending downward, discuss kombucha consumption specifically with your nephrologist before continuing. Number 1. High-Oxalate. Herbal teas consumed daily 1530 to 1900. And now we arrive at number 1. And this is the category that concerns me the most, not because any single tea in it is dramatically more dangerous than what we have already discussed, but because the teas in this group are the ones most likely to be consumed by people over 60 in large quantities, every single day, for years, with absolutely no awareness that the cumulative damage is building. These are the herbal teas sold in every supermarket, every pharmacy, every health food store. The teas that come with chamomile, rosehip, hibiscus, starfruit, and rhubarb as primary ingredients. Let me take these one by one because each one has a specific mechanism, and knowing the detail is what actually protects you. Hibiscus tea has become enormously popular, and understandably so. Research does support modest blood pressure lowering effects. It is naturally caffeine-free, it tastes pleasant, and it is marketed almost universally as a heart-healthy choice. All of that has some truth to it. But hibiscus is also extremely high in oxalates. A 2019 study measuring oxalate content across herbal teas found hibiscus among the highest of any commonly consumed variety. Daily hibiscus tea drinkers who already have reduced kidney function are adding a significant oxalate burden without realizing it. Rosehip tea carries a similar profile, rich in vitamin C, genuinely beneficial in moderate amounts. But excess vitamin C, particularly in supplement or concentrated tea form, is metabolized in your body into oxalate. Rosehip tea consumed daily in large quantities contributes meaningfully to cumulative oxalate load. Starfruit tea and starfruit juice deserve a specific and serious warning. Starfruit contains a neurotoxin called caramboxin that healthy kidneys filter out without harm. But for anyone with even mildly reduced kidney function, caramboxin can accumulate rapidly and cause what nephrologists call starfruit nephrotoxicity. Published cases exist of individuals with previously undiagnosed mild kidney insufficiency, developing acute kidney injury, seizures, and in rare cases, fatal outcomes following regular starfruit consumption. This is not theoretical, it is documented in nephrology literature. Rhubarb root tea, used in traditional medicine and found in certain herbal blends, contains among the highest concentrations of oxalate of any plant material consumed by humans. The FDA has noted rhubarb root's potential for toxicity. Regular consumption as a tea is something kidney specialists consistently advise against. Chamomile is the gentlest on this list and is generally well tolerated. The concern here is not direct toxicity but contamination. Chamomile is frequently blended with other herbs, and commercially available chamomile blends have occasionally been found to contain unlisted ingredients including pyrrolizidine alkaloids, compounds with documented hepatotoxic and nephrotoxic properties. Always choose single-ingredient chamomile from reputable sources with third-party testing. Pro tip: before making any herbal tea a daily habit, search that specific herb alongside the phrase oxalate content or kidney safety. This one habit, taking 30 seconds before you commit to a daily tea, can protect years of kidney function. High oxalate teas consumed occasionally are not the concern. High oxalate teas consumed daily, every day, for months and years are a genuinely different matter. So let us bring everything together. Your kidneys are two fist-sized organs sitting quietly in your lower back, filtering roughly 200 liters of blood every single day. They never ask for recognition. They never send you a bill. They just work, continuously, in complete silence. And the tragedy of kidney disease, the reason the National Kidney Foundation calls it a silent killer, is that by the time most people find out their kidney function has declined significantly, they have already lost function they can never recover. The 5 teas we covered today are not poisons. They are not things you need to be afraid of in the way you might fear a toxin. They are things that, in the right amounts and with the right awareness, can still be part of a healthy life. What changes today is your awareness. And awareness is the difference between a habit that quietly costs you and a habit that protects you. The safest daily teas for kidney health: plain warm water with a slice of lemon. Dandelion leaf tea, not dandelion root, in moderate amounts. Nettle leaf tea, which research suggests may actually support kidney filtration. And rooibos, one of the lowest oxalate, naturally caffeine-free options available. I want to hear from you now. Which tea on this list surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments below. And if you have been drinking any of these daily, tell me how long. I read every single comment and I learned from your experiences as much as I hope you learned from mine. If this gave you something valuable today, please share it with someone you care about. A parent, a spouse, a friend who starts every morning with a strong cup of black tea and has never once questioned it. You might be giving them something genuinely important. This is Dr. ElderZen. Take care of your kidneys. They are working for you every second of every day. It is time to return the favor.